There is no Hindu. There is no Muslim. 5 words. Sit with that for a moment. 5 words, spoken in 1499. In a world tearing itself apart over exactly that question. A world where who you prayed to determined whether you lived or died, where the caste you were born into decided whether you were even considered a human being, where women were called man's shoe, where the powerful crushed the powerless and called it God's will. Into that world, a man walked out of a river and said 5 words that nobody had ever said before. 5 words that would cross oceans, climb mountains, walk into Mecca, survive empires, outlast conquerors, and reach you, right here, right now, 500 years later. This is his story, and by the end of it, you will understand why it still matters. Right now, as you watch this, a kitchen is open. It has been open for over 500 years without closing once. At the Golden Temple in Amritsar, the most sacred site in Sikhism, 100,000 people eat for free every single day. No questions asked, no caste required, no religion required, no money required. You sit down, you are served, you eat. Rich, poor, tourist, pilgrim, homeless, it does not matter, you eat. This kitchen, this act of unconditional, radical, daily generosity started with one man, a man with no army, no political power, no wealth, just a voice, a message, and the absolute certainty that the world deserved the truth. This is where it began. The year is 1469. A child is born in a small village called Talwandi in Punjab, in what is now modern-day Pakistan. His parents name him Nanak. He grows up like any other child in Punjab. He plays, he studies, he sits with his family in the evenings. But even as a boy, something sets him apart. He gives away money to the poor instead of keeping it. He spends hours with holy men, Hindu and Muslim alike, asking questions that make grown adults shift uncomfortably in their seats. He watches priests perform ancient rituals and wonders quietly, does God actually want this? Or are we just doing what we have always done because we have always done it? His father tries everything. He sends him to school. Nanak absorbs everything and asks for more. He gives him money to start a business. Nanak spends it feeding a group of starving holy men and comes home certain he has made the best investment of his life. His father looks at his son and does not know what to do with him. But there is one person who does. His older sister, Bibi Nanki. Think about the person in your life who believed in you before anyone else did, before you had achieved anything, before you had proven anything. The person who looked at you and saw something, and never stopped seeing it even when you couldn't see it yourself. That is what Bibi Nanki was to Guru Nanak, 5 years older, watchful, fiercely devoted. Every time their father's frustration boiled over, she was there, standing between them. She told her parents, "You do not understand what you have. This child is not broken. He is extraordinary." She brings Nanak to Sultanpur, where her husband works as an official. She finds him a job, stability, something his father can be proud of. And it is she who notices a young Muslim musician in the neighborhood, a childhood friend of Nanak's named Mardana, and sees the gift in his hands. She buys him a rabab, a stringed instrument, wooden, resonant, deep. She does not know it yet. But that instrument will carry the message of Sikhi to every corner of the world. It starts with her. It always started with her. Every morning before sunrise, Nanak walks to the banks of the Kalibain River to bathe and pray. On one particular morning in 1499, he walks into the water, and he does not come back out. For 3 days, he is gone. No body, no trace, just his clothes left on the bank. The town drags the river with nets. They find nothing. His employer sends out search parties. His family gathers on the bank. His wife weeps. And Bibi Nanki, his sister, his first believer, stands on that same bank and refuses to grieve. She tells anyone who will listen, "My brother was not sent into this world to drown in a river. He will come back. 3 days pass, and then he walks out of the water. The crowd gasps. He is different. There is something in his face that was not there before, a stillness so complete it is almost frightening. He sits down on the bank, and for a long time, he says nothing at all. According to the Janam Sakhis, the accounts of his life, Nanak had been in the presence of God. He was taken into the divine court, given a cup of nectar to drink, and given a mission. A voice said to him, "Nanak, I am with you. Go into the world and teach. Repeat my name. Share it with others. Be kind to everyone." He was sent back. He sits on the bank. The crowd waits. Nobody speaks. He turns to Mardana. "Play." Mardana picks up his rabab. The strings play out over the water, and into that silence, Guru Nanak Dev Ji speaks. There is no Hindu. There is no Muslim. Some walk away confused. Some are offended. Some feel something stir inside them that they cannot name and will spend the rest of their lives trying to understand. He quits his job that day, gives away everything he owns, and with Mardana beside him, his Muslim best friend, his musician, his brother, he steps out onto the road. What follows is one of the most extraordinary journeys in human history. Over the next 24 years, Guru Nanak Dev Ji walks the world, 5 great journeys, 35,000 miles, on foot, through every kind of terrain, every kind of weather, every kind of human being. And in every single encounter, he does the same thing. He sees people, truly sees them, not their caste, not their religion, not their wealth or their poverty or their reputation. He sees the person underneath all of it. In Aminabad, he walks past the grand feast of Malik Bago, a wealthy official, and sits down instead at the table of Bhai Lalo, a poor low-caste carpenter with nothing to offer but what little he has. He squeezes both men's food in his hands. Milk flows from Lalo's simple bread. Blood flows from Bago's lavish feast. Honest work is sacred. Exploitation leaves a mark, even on the food you serve. In a darkened inn on a Punjab road, he spends the night in the home of Sajan, a man who has robbed and murdered travelers for years behind the facade of a holy man, a mosque on one side of his inn, a temple on the other. Guru Nanak asks Mardana to play, and in the quiet of that night he sings about bronze, shining on the outside, blackened within. Sajan listens at the door, and something he buried years ago rises up inside him and breaks through the surface. He weeps. He falls at the Guru's feet. He gives everything back. He starts again. Nobody is beyond the reach of grace. Nobody. At Haridwar, the holiest city in Hinduism, he wades into the sacred Ganges with thousands of pilgrims throwing water toward the rising sun for their dead ancestors. He turns around, throws water the other way. The priests are furious. He looks at them calmly. "Turn my water to reach my fields in Punjab if you can, and I will believe yours can reach heaven." They have no answer. Understand what you do, or don't do it. In the home of a rich merchant in Lahore, he hands a man named Duni Chand a single sewing needle. "Keep this for me," he says. "Return it in the next world." That night, Duni Chand cannot sleep. He turns the needle over and over in his hands in the dark. How do I carry this when I die? And in that moment, the truth lands on him with the weight of everything he owns. He cannot carry the needle. He cannot carry anything. You cannot take it with you, but you can send it ahead. High in the Himalayas, he sits with the most spiritually advanced men of his age. Yogis who have spent lifetimes in caves, renouncing everything, searching for God in the silence of the mountains. They ask him, "Why haven't you left the world behind?" He tells them, "The lotus floats on the water, surrounded by it, but its petals stay dry." You do not have to escape the world to find God. You have to remain untouched within it. They bow before him, and then the fourth Udasi, West, Mecca, the holiest city in Islam. the direction every Muslim on earth faces 5 times a day. Guru Nanak arrives dressed in the blue robes of a pilgrim. He and Mardana, a Muslim making his Hajj, enter the city together. They find a place to rest near the Kaaba. Guru Nanak lies down, his feet pointing directly toward the holiest building in Islam. A priest finds him, grabs his feet, drags them away. "How dare you point your feet at the house of God?" Guru Nanak opens his eyes. "Please," he says, "turn my feet in a direction where God is not, and I will sleep there." The priest turns them. The Kaaba follows. He turns them again. It follows again. He lets go. He steps back. He cannot speak. God is everywhere, or he is nowhere. In the pre-dawn quiet of Mecca, a Punjabi poet sings about the oneness of God, and the pilgrims gather and listen. And on his final journey, though back in Punjab, Guru Nanak stands in the city of Saidpur and watches Babur's army tear it apart. Thousands killed, thousands enslaved. Children dragged from their mothers, the air thick with smoke and screaming. He watches everything, and then he opens his mouth. He sings a direct challenge, named, fearless, unwavering. He calls Babur's invasion a wedding procession of sin. He asks God out loud, when there was such suffering, such killing, such shrieking in pain, did you not feel pity? He is arrested, thrown in prison, given a grinding stone to work. He grinds the grain and keeps singing. Babur summons him, asks for his blessing. Guru Nanak looks at the most powerful conqueror in Asia and says no, just no. Babur falls at his feet. He releases every prisoner. He asks, "How should I rule? With justice, with mercy. Fear God, not men. Power built on the suffering of innocent people is not power, it is sin." The year is 1522. Guru Nanak comes home. He settles on the banks of the river Ravi. He puts down his staff, picks up a plow, and becomes a farmer. Think about that for a moment. 24 years of walking, 35,000 miles, emperors and mountaintops in the middle of Mecca, and he comes home and picks up a plow because this ordinary daily communal life, this is the final teaching. He calls the settlement Kartarpur, the Creator's city, and the life he builds there is the living proof of everything he has ever said. Before sunrise, every voice rises together in prayer. Japji Sahib. The morning prayer he composed himself, every day, without exception, then work. Everyone works. The Guru works too, in the fields, with his hands, alongside everyone else. At mealtimes, everyone sits together, in a line, on the same level. The richest man in Punjab beside the lowest caste laborer, eating the same food, from the same pots, served by the same hands. This is Langar. And in a society where sharing a meal with the wrong person was considered a pollution of the soul, this is not just a meal. This is a revolution. That revolution is still happening. Right now, the Langar at the Golden Temple has not closed for over 500 years. 100,000 people every single day. This is what one man built, with no army, no wealth, no power. At Kartarpur, Mardana passes away, the man who played the first note, who walked every mile, who was never anything less than a brother, gone. Guru Nanak sits with his grief and does not rush past it. And then, as his own time approaches, he faces the hardest decision of his life. He has 2 sons. By every tradition, one of them should inherit what he has built. He chooses neither. He chooses Lena, a man who arrived at Kartarpur almost by accident, a Hindu priest who heard a hymn on the road and could not walk away from it, who served without expectation, who rebuilt walls in the pouring rain, who reached into the mud when everyone else stepped back. Guru Nanak places the mark of succession on Lena's forehead, and then he bows before his own disciple. He gives him a new name, Angad. Part of my body, not blood. Merit, not inheritance. Devotion, not who you were born to, who you are. It is September 1539. Guru Nanak is 70 years old. He gathers his community for the last time. His Hindu followers want to cremate him. His Muslim followers want to bury him. The argument is getting louder. He asks them to bring flowers, place the Hindu flowers on my right, the Muslim flowers on my left, cover me with a sheet, come back in the morning. Mardana's son picks up the rabab and plays, the same instrument, the same music as the very beginning. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the man who walked out of a river with the universe inside him, who said there is no Hindu and there is no Muslim and meant every word, who fed everyone who came to his table, who bowed before his own disciple, who refused to bless a conqueror, who sang in a prison cell, who lay down in Mecca with his feet toward the Kaaba and asked a priest to show him where God was not, quietly, simply, leaves. In the morning, they lift the sheet. There is no body, only flowers, both sets, fresh, not a single petal wilted. The Hindus take their flowers, the Muslims take theirs, two memorials, side by side, on the banks of the river Ravi. Neither side could claim him, because that was always the point. The flame did not go out. It passed to Guru Angad, then to Guru Amar Das, through 10 gurus across 200 years, and then into the Guru Granth Sahib, the eternal living scripture that every Sikh bows before today, and it is still burning, because of one man, who had no army, no wealth, no throne, who walked out of a river, said 5 words, and never stopped meaning them. There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. He didn't raise an army, he didn't seize a throne, he didn't write laws or draw borders. He walked, he sang, he fed people. He told the truth even when it was dangerous. He saw people, truly saw them, when the whole world was looking away. He bowed before his own disciple. He left both sides holding flowers. And 500 years later, the kitchen is still open, the music is still playing, the flame is still burning,